What is up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wade here from Elevate to the Unknown and nextgenheights.com. And it is Wednesday, October the 15th at 7 a.m. Central, and we are live on the Daily Climb. While you guys slept last night, Goldman Sachs said it out loud. Modest job growth alongside robust GDP growth is likely to be the new normal. Read that again. Jobless growth is, excuse me, now the new normal. That's what Goldman Sachs said. Goldman Sachs economist David Merkle, he basically wrote in report on Tuesday, the economy grows, GDP goes up, stock market goes up, company profits goes up, but jobs don't come back. That is the new normal. So also while you slept, gold hit $4,210 per ounce. New record high. Never happened before in human history. Amazon announced 15% HR cuts. That's according to Fortune magazine. That means that potentially is 10,000 people. The people experience in technology. That's the people who hire you. They're potentially getting cut. And also, the Senate failed for the 8th time to pass funding. Day 15 of the government shutdown. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, he warned on Tuesday afternoon the downside risk to employment appear to have risen. That's what he said. Bank of America reported earnings 90 minutes ago. And we'll break down what they will say on that one. It is week 2. Day 3, research your 5 target companies. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And remember Joseph from yesterday, 44 years old, applied to 2,000 jobs over 2 years and got nowhere. Then he researched 30 hybrid companies, applied to 30 of those companies, and he got hired. Starts in 12 days, October the 27th. Goldman Sachs. They just explained why Joseph's first 2,000 applications failed. Jobless growth is the new normal. You can't apply everywhere and hope. You need to research 5 specific companies. Know which ones are actually hiring. Know where your skills fit. Know your AI, or know where AI hasn't replaced you yet. Guys, we got a show today. It's going to be 60 minutes. Goldman Sachs warning. We're going to be talking about Powell's speech. We're going to be talking about Amazon cuts. We're going to be talking about Bank of America results. We're going to be talking about Jensen Huang's 6 AI startups, Kathy Wood's healthcare prediction, how to research your 5 companies and where jobs are actually being created. We're going to be climbing real high today. Guys, bear with me as well, too, because your boy may be coming down with something. I had to skip the gym this morning because, as you can probably hear, a little bit of congestion going on. It could be because of the allergies. It could be because of the change in the temperature here in Texas, or it could be because of the air quality. I know something is catching my throat. So just bear with me this morning, guys. I appreciate you for being here today. Good to see you, Mr. E. Smith. Good to see you, Erica. Good to see you, Jason. Good to see you, AI Lady. Good to see you, NC Worker, guys. Good to see you all this morning. Welcome to the Daily Climb this morning, and prepare yourself. Strap on your seatbelts. It's going to be a good one. All right, let's jump over to the first segment. Let me break down what Goldman Sachs said, because this changes absolutely everything. Okay, Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest investment banks in the world. They see everything before everyone else usually does. And also, you got to remember that the government isn't giving us the data because the government is shut down right now. So who gives us the data right now? Some of the biggest banks, and Goldman Sachs is one of them. They usually predict the future. And the reason why they win all the time is because they are predicting using the data that they have, how the economy is going to go. So on Tuesday, which was yesterday, October the 14th, 2 economists, David Merkle and Profrancio May, they published a report. The report said modest job growth alongside robust GDP growth seen recently is likely the new normal. Let me translate what that means to you, because that doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to many people. Basically, GDP. GDP is gross domestic product. That's how much stuff that America makes, how much money the economy generates. That number is going up, okay, which is a good thing. Job growth, though, that's how many new jobs get created. That number is barely moving or potentially even going down. Usually, in the old way, in the old markets, in the old, matter of fact, 2 years ago, usually when GDP goes up, jobs go up. The more we make, the more jobs we create, more business, more hiring. That's how it's always worked, but not anymore. If you guys are hearing this right now and you're understanding what I'm saying, type normal in the chat. Also, if this seems scary to you, type normal in the chat. The question is why? Why do you think this is happening? We're making more stuff, but jobs aren't going up. Jobs are steady or jobs are going down. What do you guys think in the chat? AI, 2 letters. Companies use AI to do more with fewer people. They make more money. They grow their business, but they don't hire more workers. AI saves money. Jobs disappear. And Goldman says, this isn't temporary. This is a bad year. This is structural. This is permanent. Likely to be normal is what they said in the article. That's the new reality. Think about the conversation that we had on yesterday. The conversation we had on yesterday about Joseph. He applied to 2,000 jobs over 2 years. Couldn't figure out why nothing worked. Goldman just explained it. The jobs he was applying for don't exist anymore. Companies grew their business without hiring for those roles, and AI replaced them. That's it. Now let me show you Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He runs the Federal Reserve, the people who control interest rates. Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern. He gave a speech at the National Association for Business Economics. He said the downside risk to employment appear to have risen. Downside risk to employment. That's Fed speak for jobs are in danger. That's what he's basically saying. He also said we are in a low hiring, low firing environment. Low hiring. Companies aren't bringing people in. Low firing. Companies aren't laying everyone off. You want to hear what he said as well? Check out what Jerome Powell says.
Both the supply and demand for labor has declined quite sharply. So, you know, those two states of affairs for our 2 variables, our 2 goal variables, call for different monetary policy responses. So, as they come more into balance, I think the idea has been that policy should move from being, you know, tight to some degree to being more neutral as those 2 things balance out. But it is clear, though, that, you know, if we move too quickly, then we may leave the inflation job unfinished and have to come back later and finish it. And if we move too slowly, there may be unnecessary losses, painful losses in the employment market. So we're in the difficult situation of balancing those 2 things. I think for the last few months, we've been able to maintain a restrictive stance because the labor market was still pretty solid. I think that the data we got right after the July meeting showed that, which adjusted back all the way through May, showed that the labor market has actually softened pretty considerably and puts us in a situation where the 2 risks are closer to being in balance.
You heard him speak this now. Okay? If you listen to what he said, what do you think is going to be happening next? If the labor market has softened considerably, that's what he said. Those were the exact words. Low hiring. Companies aren't bringing people in. Low firing. Companies aren't laying everyone off. But here's the problem. If you're young, if you're trying to get your first job or your second job, low hiring means you can't get in. If you're older, if you want to switch companies, low hiring means nobody's taking new people. Powell also warned further declines in the job openings might very well show up in unemployment. Translation, right now, companies aren't posting jobs, but people who have jobs are keeping them. But if job openings keep declining, eventually That turns into layoffs. That turns into unemployment going up. The Fed sees what Goldman predicts, jobless growth. And it might get worse. That's what he's saying. So if you know what Fed Chair Jerome Powell is responsible for, interest rates, what do you think is going to be happening later on this month? I basically hear this and I'm saying there's going to be another rate cut, almost 100%. 100% rate cut. That's what I'm predicting right now. Let's talk about Amazon. Okay? Let's talk about the big old Amazon, the lovely company Amazon, the company that I order from just about every single day. At least I don't order from them, my wife does. Let me show you. Amazon is proving Goldman and Jerome Powell right. Right now, today. Fortune magazine, they reported this on Tuesday. Amazon is planning to cut 15% of its HR staff. HR stands for human resources, the people who hire you, the people who post jobs, the people who interview candidates. Amazon calls that division PXT, People Experience Technology. Over 10,000 employees globally. 15%, that's 1,500 people, maybe even more. Type 15% in the chat if that's a lot of people. Now, here's what makes this crazy. Amazon is investing $100 billion in AI infrastructure this year. $100 billion. They are also hiring 250,000 seasonal workers for the holidays. 250,000. But they're cutting permanent HR staff by 15%. You see the math? Temporary workers, yes. Seasonal. Short term, no benefits. Permanent workers, no. Career, jobs, full-time, benefits, and retirement. AI infrastructure, $100 billion. Investment, people who are permanently hired, 15% cut. That's jobless growth right there. Amazon's business grows. They need seasonal workers for packaging. They need AI infrastructure to automate, but they don't need permanent HR staff because they're not hiring permanent workers long term. Goldman called it. Powell warned it and warned us about it. Amazon's doing it right now. That's what the data is showing us. I told you guys yesterday, I think the economy is going to look like this in the next 5 years. Everybody's going to be a contractor. Everybody's going to get it out the way that they need to. That's why influencers are going to be so important. Because if you have a audience, you can sell just about anything. You can work wherever you want that fits your brand. Now, let me show you who's getting hurt the most. Stanford University, they did a study. Workers in their early mid-20s, jobs in fields that AI can automate. Those workers saw a 13% decrease in deployment, 13%. Entry-level job postings, tech, customer service, sales, down 20 to 40%. And it depends on the field, but all down, way down. Federal Reserve Governor Chris Waller, he said this recently. Job growth outside healthcare has probably been negative the last few months. Probably negative. Healthcare is hiring, nurses, doctors, home health aides. That's growing, but everything else seems to be shrinking. And if you are young, if you don't have healthcare skills, the job market is closed. Goldman's report explains why. Jobless growth is the new normal. Let me bring this back to Joseph, who we talked about on yesterday. Joseph, 44 years old, Rochester Hills, Michigan. He applied to 2,000 jobs over 2 years, spent hundreds of dollars on resume writers, used ChatGPT, customized every application, did everything right. Got nowhere. Why? Because he was using the old approach. The old approach, apply everywhere, cast a wide net, hope someone calls back. Eventually, something will work, right? That's the old approach. But here's the thing about that approach, okay? That approach worked when companies were hiring. when jobless growth was normal or wasn't normal. When jobs were growing. That's when it worked, that approach. But now, that approach is a waste of time. Joseph, he had to switch his approach mid-September of this year, about a month ago. What did he do? Well, he researched 30 hybrid companies, specific companies in his area that offered 2 or 3 days in the office. He applied to those 30 jobs. Just 30, not 2,000, 30 only. He got hired. He starts October the 27th, 12 days from now. That's your week 2, day 3 action. Research 5 target companies, not 500, just 5. Know which ones actually hire. Know which ones offer hybrid or remote. Know which ones are growing. Know which ones are using AI instead of getting disrupted by it. You're going to write down 5 company names today, check their LinkedIn, see if they're adding employees, see if they have real job posts. That's the work that you need to do today. It's that simple. Yes, I give you homework on the show because this show is about solutions, not just about the noise that's out there. There's a lot of noise. And the data is showing us that this jobless growth is continuing to increase. That means unemployment, guys. Unemployment is going to continue to increase because Goldman Sachs said jobless growth is normal. Powell warned risks are rising. Amazon's cutting HR by 15%. You can't apply randomly anymore. You have to be strategic. Joseph figured that out, got hired. You are going to figure it out. Make sure you do it today. All right, you just saw Goldman's warning. Jobless growth is the new normal. Powell confirmed it. Amazon's proving it. Gen Z is getting crushed. Now let me show you day 15 of the government shutdown. Senate failed for the 8th time yesterday. Bank of America, they are going to be reporting earnings this morning. We break down potentially what they said if I can get the news and latest recap on that. In the military, guess what? The military got paid today for now. So I want you guys to stay with me, okay? We're on segment 2. Let me show you what's happening with the government shutdown because it is getting worse. Tuesday evening, October the 14th, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. The Senate voted on the House funding bill for the 8th time. Result, 49 yes, 45 no. They need 60 votes to pass. They got 49. They fell 11 votes short for the 8th time. If you guys think this is insane, type 8th in the chat. Make sure you type 8th in the chat because I think this is insane. I'm typing 8th in the chat, okay? This is absolutely insane. The same 3 Democrats voted with Republicans. Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania was absent this time, but Senators Catherine Cortez from Nevada and Angus Kane from Maine, he's an independent from Maine, they voted yes. Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, Republican, he voted no. But everyone else, same votes as the previous 7 times. No movement, no compromise, no progress. Day 15 of the shutdown. Today is Wednesday, October the 15th. The longest shutdown in history was 35 days. That was in December of 2018 to January 2019 during Trump's first term. We're on day 15, halfway there. Let's go to what the news is saying about this. I want to share this with you guys.
But let's break down all of this with MSNBC senior Capitol Hill correspondent and host of Way Too Early, Ali Vitale, MSNBC's Laura Barron-Lopez at the White House for us, our correspondent Ariel Hickson on the ground at the National Mall, and senior writer at the Dispatch, David Drucker. Ali, we're at the 2-week mark. Hard to believe that. And things at the leadership level seem like they're gridlocked more than ever.
Hard to believe, and yet quite obvious, given the fact that both sides have been very clear in maintaining their positions. And you listen to the way that leadership is setting the tone over the weekend into yesterday, and you can see they're not talking to each other. They're very much continuing to talk past each other. Listen.
You've heard Chuck Schumer say breathlessly, I just want the four leaders to get in a back room and make a deal. We're not doing that. Republicans are eager to return to the actual negotiating table, to finish out full-year appropriations and do work on all the other matters before us, but we won't negotiate in smoke-filled back rooms.
Speaker Mike Johnson and I have not met. They've made the decision. Donald Trump has not given them permission to meet, Katie. And we know that until Donald Trump gives them permission to meet, they're going to continue to hide.
You heard it. You're hearing it. Senator Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said, we Democrats want to end the shutdown. But Donald Trump and Republicans need to negotiate with us to fix health care premiums. He's worrying about health care premiums. House Speaker Mike Johnson said this is not a game. Chuck Schumer thinks that it is. Nobody's negotiating. Nobody's moving. It is day 15. I told you guys. Are they working on behalf of the people? Or are they working on behalf of themselves? If they weren't getting paid, this wouldn't be happening. This would not be happening. You see it. They're not working on behalf of you. You better work on behalf of you. You better take control of what is in front of you. You better take control of what you can. You better focus on what you can, because they are not going to. Government, corporations, none of them. Let me remind you what happened this week, because some of you guys may have missed yesterday's show. Friday night, October the 10th, 4,200 federal workers got fired, not furloughed, fired permanently. The Treasury Department, 1,446 people. Health and Human Services, 1,100 people. Department of Education, 466 people. Housing and Urban Development, 442. Commerce, 35 people, guys. Energy, 187. Homeland Security, 176. 4,200 on Friday. If you guys remember this, type Friday in the chats. We talked about it on yesterday. We talked about it on Monday. Tuesday, yesterday, NASA, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, they fired 550 workers. That's 11% of their workforce laid off. So over time, what we're seeing right now, 4,200 on Friday, 550 on Tuesday. That's 4,750 workers fired this week. Not furloughed, not go home and wait. Fired, gone permanently. That's what's happening in government right now. And this is just the beginning of it. And the White House Office of Management and Budget said Tuesday, they posted on social media, we will continue the RIFs and wait. RIF, if many of you guys don't know what that term stands for, reduction in force, permanent layoffs, more coming. Vice President J.D. Vance said on Sunday, the longer this goes, the deeper the cuts will be. Deeper cuts are coming. Day 15, Senate failed for the 8th time, 4,750 fired this week. More cuts are coming. That's the government side. Now, let me show you the private sector side. Bank of America. Bank of America reported earnings this morning, 6:45 a.m. Eastern, 90 minutes ago. Here's what they said. Earnings per share, 94 cents. Beat expectations of 90 cents. Revenue, $27.5 billion. Beat expectations, 27%. Or matter of fact, excuse me, they beat expectations of 27%. $1.4 billion. Stock up about 2% in pre-market trading this morning. Investment banking fees are up. Trading revenue is up. Net interest is up. Net income is up. Banks are making money, record money. But here's what CEO Brian Mullion said on an earnings call. He talked about consumer health, credit card spending, loan growth. He said, we're seeing some softness in consumer spending, but overall, the consumer remains resilient. Softness, but resilient. Translation, people are spending a little less, but they're not collapsing yet. Now connect this to Goldman Sachs reporting from our first segment of the show today. Goldman said, jobless growth is normal. It's the new normal. Jobless growth. Economy grows, jobs don't. Bank of America just confirmed it. Banks are making record profits, but they're not hiring. They're using AI to do more work with fewer people. Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan CEO, he said it yesterday. We spent $2 billion on AI. We saved $2 billion, but jobs will be eliminated. Spent $2 billion, saved $2 billion, jobs eliminated. Bank of America didn't say that explicitly, but look at their numbers. Revenue is up, profits up, but they're not announcing big hiring plans. That's jobless growth, guys. That's what it is. You're seeing it right in front of you. One piece of good news, though, for our military veterans. President Trump, he announced over the weekend. He did say this, because I put this on the show on Friday, and I talked about it on Monday as well, too. He announced over the weekend, the Pentagon found $8 billion in unobligated funds from last year's budget. They used that money to pay military troops their October the 15th paychecks. Today's October the 15th. That's today. Troops got paid. But that $8 billion, that's a one-time thing. It's money that was already allocated. They just hadn't spent it yet. So if the shutdown continues past October the 31st, there is no more money. Next military paycheck, November the 1st, where's that money going to come from? Nobody knows. So troops, military vets, they got paid today. But if this goes for another 2 weeks, like people are saying that it's going to go and what's expected, because nobody's working on your behalf, they might not get paid November 1st. Day 15, no end in sight. Here's the lesson. Government is firing people. 4,750 this week, more coming. Banks making record profits, but not hiring, using AI to save money. Goldman Sachs economists, jobless growth is likely to be the new norm. Fed Chair Powell, downside risks to employment appear to have risen. Amazon, 15% HR cuts potentially. Bank of America, record earnings, but softness in consumer spending. Here's the thing, guys. I want you guys to know this. The systems that we have in place, it isn't built to protect you. The system is built to cut costs, and AI cuts costs, and workers are the cost. So you have to protect yourself. Make sure today you research 5 companies that are actually hiring. Know where you fit. That's day 3, of week 2 that we're on. Know where you fit. Week 2, day 3, today's actions. Know where you fit. Research 5 companies that are actually hiring. You guys just saw day 15 shutdown. Senate failed for the 8th time. 4,750 fired this week. Bank of America is making record money, but seeing softness. Now, let me show you what NVIDIA CEO, Jensen Huang, he named 6 AI startups that is reshaping work. And he said 100% of NVIDIA's engineers use Cursor. 100% of them. Cursor is an AI tool to help developers do better work and do more work and code faster. Plus, we're going to be talking about Kathy Wood from ARK Investment. She says AI in healthcare is the sleeper opportunity that everyone is missing. This is the future of work. I want you guys to stay with me in this segment, okay? Let me show you where the job market is actually heading, because NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, he just told us. Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA. NVIDIA makes the chips that run AI, the GPUs, graphic processing units. I got them in my PC. You got them in your PC potentially, especially if you have a pretty awesome PC. But if you want to train an AI model, you basically need NVIDIA chips. That's why NVIDIA is worth over $3 trillion right now. They're probably the largest company out there right now. And Jensen gave an interview this week, and he named 6 AI companies, 6 startups that he says basically is reshaping the future of work. And here's the list. I want you guys to see this list. You know, we're going to talk about the list instead, because you can go to the article and find the list. I thought I had it on here, but I don't have it on here. Number 1, OpenAI. Everyone knows them by ChatGPT. ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 5, the big language models. Number 2, Harvey. They are in the legal tech field, and they raised $100 million. They use AI to help lawyers research cases, write briefs, analyze contracts. Number 3, Open Evidence. Healthcare AI basically helps doctors find medical research, analyze patient data, make better decisions faster. Number 4, which he says 100% of his engineers at NVIDIA use it. It's called Cursor and is an AI coding assistant. And this one is important for you all who are in techie roles, especially if you're software developers. And I'll explain why in a second, okay? But 5 is Replit, another AI coding platform, and it helps people write software faster as well. Number 6 is Lovable. They call it vibe coding. So you describe what you want and AI builds it. These are the 6, okay? Now here's the big review that Jensen said. He says 100% of NVIDIA's software engineers and chip designers now use Cursor. That is 100%, not some, not most, all of them. NVIDIA employs about 30,000 people. A huge chunk of them are engineers and designers. Every single one of them use Cursor, he says, an AI coding assistant. So think about this. If NVIDIA, the company that builds the chips that powers AI, if their engineers all use AI to write code, what is your excuse? If the smartest engineers in the world working at the most advanced AI company can't do their jobs without AI tools, then you definitely can't do your job without them. That's the message. You can't do your job without the tools of AI. And if you think you can, you're going to F around and find out. That's the message. Let me break down these 6 companies, because some of you are wondering, what do they actually do? And I'm going to see if I can bring in an image of these 6 companies in a second, okay? Just bear with me. We'll work on that. OpenAI. Many of you guys already know OpenAI from ChatGPT. Great company, great language models. You type a question, it answers it. You ask it to write something, it writes it. That's OpenAI. Okay? Harvey. They are in the legal tech field. So lawyers, they spend hours researching case law, reading old court decisions, listening to transcripts, writing legal briefs. And Harvey uses AI to do that research in minutes, not hours. It does it in minutes. It summarizes cases. It finds relevant law. It writes first drafts of briefs. Lawyers still review it, but AI does the grunt work. That's Harvey. All right. I'm able to get this image here so that you guys can write this down. That's what I love about live shows. We can just do this. Here you go. Open evidence. Healthcare AI. Doctors, they need to stay up to date on medical research. New studies come out every day. Open evidence, it reads all the new studies, summarizing them. Tells the doctors what's new about treating this condition. Doctors make better decisions faster with current information. Ain't that something? Let's talk about Cursor, an AI coding assistant. Your writing software. You get stuck, you describe what you're trying to do, Cursor writes the code for you. Or you have working code, you want to improve it, Cursor rewrites it, makes it better, faster, cleaner. NVIDIA's engineers, all of them use it every single day. Replit is very similar to Cursor. AI helps you code, but Replit also lets you run the code in your browser. You don't need to install anything, just code online and AI helps you. You run it instantly. Lovable. They call lovable vibe coding. That's the new word. And this one is pretty wild. Basically, you don't write code at all. You just describe what you want. I want a website that looks like Apple's homepage, but for a coffee shop. With ordering online. Lovable's AI builds it. You describe the vibe, AI does the work. That's the future that Jensen sees. And this man has been able to predict the future quite well with a $3 trillion company that he's managing and leading. Now, let me show you his bigger vision here. His bigger vision is something bigger than what we realize, because it's not just about these 6 companies. He said this: future workforces in enterprise will be a combination of humans and digital humans. Humans and digital humans, he says. He said, I'm hoping that NVIDIA someday will be a 50,000 employee company with 100 million AI assistants. 50,000 humans, 100 million AI assistants. So think about that ratio. Every human worker, 2,000 AI assistants, not replacing humans, augmenting them. The humans make decisions, set strategy, talks to customers, solves new problems. The AI does the research, the data analyses, writing first drafts, coding, scheduling, email summaries, everything repetitive. But here's the catch. Only humans who can manage AI survive. If you don't know how to use Cursor, if you don't know how to prompt ChatGPT, if you don't understand what AI can do and can't do, you're not valuable. But if you can direct 100 AI assistants, you're 10 times more productive than before. You're irreplaceable. That's why Goldman says jobless growth is normal. Companies don't need more humans. They need humans who can manage AI. 1 human with AI does the work of 10 humans without AI. So companies hire 1, not 10. Jobless growth. Now let me show you Kathy Wood. Kathy is pretty awesome. She is pretty darn awesome. I took her investment advice during the COVID pandemic. I made a whole bunch of money following Kathy. But she is the CEO of ARK Investments. She manages billions of dollars. She invests in disruptive technology. And on Tuesday, October the 14th, she did an interview. She said AI in healthcare is the most profound application of AI. And it's the most inefficiently priced part of the market. Most profound, most inefficiently priced, she said. If you guys are in the healthcare space, type healthcare in the chat. But you're probably wondering, what does this mean? Because I asked myself that same question as well. What does it mean? Most profound. AI in healthcare will save more lives. That's basically what it means. AI in healthcare will save more lives. It will improve more outcomes. It will change more about how medicine works than AI anywhere else. Most efficiently priced. What does that mean? Well, investors aren't paying attention to it. Healthcare AI companies are undervalued. Stock prices are low because people are focused on big technology, the infrastructure side of it, the NVIDIAs, the Microsofts, the Googles, the OpenAI. Kathy sees this as opportunity for you and for me. And she says, we're seeing convergence. AI, gene sequencing, CRISPR, gene editing, all three technologies coming together. AI analyzes your genes, finds mutations, predicts diseases. Gene sequencing reads DNA fast and cheap. CRISPR edits your genes, fixes mutations. All three working together. That's personalized medicine. AI tells you what's wrong. CRISPR fixes it. Kathy also said, we think the Mag 6 tech giants will see slower growth going forward. Mag 6, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Meta, and NVIDIA. She thinks that they'll see slow growth and their growth will slow down because they're already huge. How much bigger can they get, she says. I mean, these are trillion-dollar companies. Some of them are hundreds of billions, right? How much bigger can they get? But she says healthcare AI, small companies, huge growth potential. And that's where she is investing. I'm going to tell you like this. This lady's been right a lot. And that's where the jobs might be. Remember Jensen's list? Open Evidence, Healthcare AI. That's one of the 6 companies that he named. This list that I showed you guys. If Kathy Wood's right, which the majority of the time she's right, healthcare AI is the sleeper opportunity for you. Many of you guys are in the stock market. Don't take my advice. Don't take her advice. Do your own research. But I'm telling you right now, this is an opportunity that I'm going to be looking into. You just saw Jensen Huang's vision, 6 AI startups, 100% of NVIDIA is using Cursor, all their engineers. That's the future workforce. Humans plus 100 million AI assistants. Kathy Wood says healthcare AI is the most profound and most undervalued opportunity. Now, week 2, day 3. Let me show you how to research your 5 target companies, exactly how to do it, what to look for, where to find them. That's your action for today. I want you guys to stay with me for this segment as well. Let's go back to my man, John. But before we even do that, week 2, day 3. If you guys have been watching this show, day 3 is today, which is Wednesday, October the 15th. Right now, the goal is for you to research 5 target companies, especially if you're looking for a job. Not 50, not 500, but 5. I'm going to show you exactly how, okay? Joseph from yesterday, 44 years old, going to be 45 this year, from Rochester Hills, Michigan. He was laid off back in October the 3rd, 2023, 2 years ago. He applied to roughly 2,000 jobs over 2 years. 50 applications a day. Then he'd crash. Then he was depressed. Then he couldn't do it. 2 weeks off. Then he's back at it again, doing 50 a day, repeat. 2,000 applications over 2 years, zero. I mean, absolute zero results. If you guys think 2,000 applications is exhausting, type 2,000 in the chats. Then, in mid-September, about a month ago, he changed his approach. He researched 30 hybrid companies within 30 minutes of his house that offered 2 or 3 days in the office, 2 or 3 days remote. That's it. Okay. You just change this thought process. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to listen to what Coach Antoine has been saying on his Daily Climb show. Man, that's when we started it. September, when he changed his strategy. There's a whole bunch of people that watch this show. You just never know who's watching you and who's taking in what you're saying. But mid-September is when he changed his approach. He researched 30 hybrid companies within 30 minutes of his house that offered 2 or 3 days in the office. Focused on 30 companies. That was it. He applied to those 30 companies specifically. September the 10th, he applied to one of them, support specialist role at an IRA firm. He got an interview because the recruiter remembered him from a previous job. She saw his name, called him up. Hey, Joe, I saw you. I remember you. I see your application in. Called him up for an interview. He got hired. He starts October the 27th, 12 days from now. So 2,000 unfocused applications, 0 results. 30 focused applications, 1 job. That's the difference that research makes. You're not applying to 2,000, you're researching 5. Then you apply to those 5. It messes people at those 5. Quality over quantity. All right, so now you're going to research 5 companies today. Here are the 5 questions that you want to ask about each company. I want you guys to write these questions down, okay? Question 1. Do they offer hybrid or remote in your specific role? Go to LinkedIn, search for the company, look at their job postings. Do they say remote, hybrid, on-site? If you need remote or hybrid and they only post on-site jobs, cross them off your list. Don't even waste your time. Don't think that they're going to change it because of you and you feel like you're special because you bring something to the table. Cross them off your list. Also, check where employees are based. If the company has employees all over the country, that means they probably allow remote work. If everyone's in one city, that means they are on site. Joseph needed hybrid. He only researched companies that offered 2 or 3 days in the office. That's why his 30 applications worked. Question number 2, are they hiring? Are they really hiring? It's basically what it is. Are they actually hiring? Or are they posting ghost jobs? You're going to find a lot of that online these days because you got a lot of people and companies posting ghost jobs. And literally, I'll tell you like this. There's people who have companies and they create job postings for marketing. Can you believe that? So say, for instance, you have a company. Let's just say Ant Dog, who's in the chat. He has a company. And this company is called, I don't know, Bon Squad or something like that. And he wanted to get people into his company to buy, let's just say, courses or something along those lines. He can put job postings out there. They go and click on it. They see, okay, well, this is a great company and you can buy our products by going to this link. So it's a ghost job. And people are clicking on those to waste time and money. And companies are using that to collect data, and also to sell their products. So you need to find out, are they actually hiring or are they posting ghost jobs? Ghost jobs, fake job postings. Companies post them, but don't actually hire. They do it to look like they're growing also. or to collect resumes for later, or because HR forgot to take the posting down. How do you tell if the job is real or a ghost? Well, LinkedIn. Look at the company's employee count. Is it growing? If they have 500 employees 6 months ago and they have 500 employees now, they're not hiring. The job post is fake. If they had 500 6 months ago and now they have 550, they are growing. The job is probably real. Also, check how long the job's been sitting out there. If it's been up for 60 days, 90 days, that's a ghost job. Real jobs get filled within 30 days or less. Do me a favor in the chat. If you guys have applied to some of those ghost jobs that I'm talking about right now, type ghost in the chat. I know you have. Don't be afraid. We're just having a conversation right now. We're having fun. Question number 3. Do they use AI? Or do they get disrupted by AI? And this is critical. Companies that use AI to grow, they're hiring. They need people who can manage the AI. Companies that get disrupted by AI, they're dying. They're cutting jobs. Stay away. How do you tell? Well, look at Jensen Huang's list from segment 3. OpenAI, Harvey, Open Evidence, Cursor, Replit, Lovable. Those companies are hiring. They build AI tools. Look at Kathy Wood's prediction. Healthcare AI companies, they're hiring. They're undervalued. They are growing. Look at yesterday's show. Cloudflare, 1,111 interns that they're going to be posting and hiring in 2026. Shopify, 1,000 interns. Atlassian, hiring more engineers than last year. Those companies use AI. They are growing. Companies that get disrupted by AI, think about it. If AI can do your job and the company doesn't use AI to create new products, that company is dying. Let me give you an example. A company that just processes paperwork. AI can do that now. That company is in trouble. But a company that uses AI to build a new software or analyze healthcare data or design products, that company is growing. Research which one your target company is. It's that simple. Question number 4. Did they announce layoffs recently? Google the company's name plus layoffs, or use Comment, or use Perplexity. I use Comment. That's my favorite browser right now. You should check it out. Matter of fact, I'll probably put a link in the chat. Great browser, great assistant, great AI tool. But if they cut 15% like Amazon is, stay away. They're shrinking. If they announce hiring like Boeing is hiring right now, $2.7 billion contract, 750 units per year. That's growth. Research them. LinkedIn also shows this. If their employee count dropped, layoffs. If it went up, hiring. It's simple. Question number 5. Can you find someone who works there on LinkedIn? And this is for tomorrow, which is going to be day 4. But do your research today, okay? Joseph got hired because an older coworker became a recruiter. She remembered him. She called him up. That's networking. But you can't network with someone if you don't know they exist. So today, find one person at each of your 5 target companies, someone in your field, someone doing the job that you want. Write down their name. You'll message them tomorrow. Those are your 5 questions. Ask them about each company. Write down the answers. By the end of the day, you'll have 5 companies with the answers to 5 questions. That's your target list. Now you're asking, where do I even find these 5 companies to research? Well, let me give you these sources. Cloudflare, 1,111 interns. Shopify, 1,000 engineering interns. Atlassian, CEO Mike Cannon-Brookes said they will have more engineers in 5 years than today, not fewer, more. Boeing, they just signed a $2.7 billion contract for PAC-3 missile production, 750 units per year. Those companies are hiring. Research them. There's a lot more that's out there as well, too. But think about the healthcare AI companies that we talked about today. Kathy Wood say healthcare AI is undervalued. Search LinkedIn for healthcare AI startups or medical AI companies. See what comes up. Open Evidence is one of them. That one is the one that Jensen Huang talked about in our previous segment, right? Research them. You also know from previous shows that data center construction, 340,000 data center jobs are unfilled, they said. Electricians make $150,000 a year. HVAC techs making $60,000 to $100,000 a year. Search LinkedIn for data center construction in your city. See what companies are coming up. Search Google, search Perplexity. See what companies come up. Defense contractors. These are the big ones that are hiring right now. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon. They are all hiring. Security clearance required for most of these jobs, though. But if you have a clearance or you can get a clearance, 20 to 30% paid premiums. You can get all kinds of money in this space. Excuse me. OpenAI, Harvey, Open Evidence, Cursor, Replit, Lovable. Check their LinkedIn. See if they're hiring in your field. Pick 5 from those sources. Find your own. Figure it out. You guys have to work. I don't have to give you every single thing. That's one thing I love about YouTube, but also one of the things that I realize that people don't want to do the work. They want to be spoon fed. You know, I can create a video on the types of jobs that exist out there, and I can do this sort of a live stream, but people want to say, Antoine, can you post the links? Let me do this. Let me tell you this right now. I'm not going to post any links to any of these jobs, because here's the thing. YouTube is cracking down on educational content as it is. And if you go out there and start posting links, and I was to quickly grab a link, and that link had, an alternate link into it or something along those lines, YouTube could ban this channel completely because of me doing that. So I won't post any links in any of my videos. You have to go out there and do the research for yourself. And if you're watching this for the first time and you are wanting me to give you the links, it's not going to happen. But pick 5 from these sources, find your own, but have 5 by the end of the day. So today, just research 5 companies, answer the 5 questions about each one. Tomorrow is going to be week 2, day 4, message 5 people. One person at each one of your target companies. You can go ahead and get ahead of it if you want to. Someone doing the job that you actually want, or someone in your field. The message is simple. I'll give you guys a template tomorrow. But here's the idea. Hey, my name is Antoine. I saw that you work at General Dynamics at this sort of a role. I'm researching companies in your industry, and I'm considering this company. Would you be open to a 15-minute call to share your experience? I really appreciate the insight. Short, specific, respectful of their time. Someone will respond usually, especially if you add something in there like for your time. I would send you a $15 gift card to Starbucks or something along those lines, to your favorite restaurant. Just post it and send it to them. I guarantee it, someone will respond. And when they do, you'll learn more in that 15 minutes than you'd learn from 100 job applications. But if you can't message 5 people tomorrow, if you don't do the research that for the 5 companies today, that's your own problem. Don't be complaining. Take action if you're in a situation where you want better for yourself. That's why today matters. Let me bring this back to Joseph one more time. 2,000 applications, no research, just clicking and applying, hoping something works. Nothing worked. 30 applications. Research which companies offer hybrid. Research which companies in his area. Research which roles match his skills. Applied to those 30 specifically. He got hired, and he starts in 12 days. You're doing 5, not 30. Not 200, not 2,000. You're doing 5. By Friday, you will have 5 target companies research, 5 people message, maybe 1 or 2 calls scheduled. That's positioning yourself. That's strategic. Goldman Sachs says jobless growth is normal. You can't randomly apply anymore. You have to be strategic. Today, research those 5 companies, answer 5 questions. Let's get to it, guys. It's simple. Real quick. If you need help figuring out which companies to research, which industries are actually hiring, how to elevate if a company uses AI or how to elevate just your mindset and how to evaluate if a company uses AI or if they are getting disrupted by AI. Book a coaching session with me, www.nextgenheights.com. You guys can catch me after work hours, after 5 p.m. www.nextgenheights.com. nextgenheights.com. Also, consider joining our Patreon, www.patreon.com/BlackHeights. We have the people that you can network with, that you can talk to. We have individuals who broke into multiple industries. We have company research templates. We have people who made these exact transitions. They'll show you step by step. I'll show you step by step. $5 a month, less than your coffee that you get on a daily basis. Link it in the description of this video. All right, you guys just learned how to research your 5 target companies, what 5 questions, 5 sources. Day 4 is tomorrow. You message those 5 people. Let me show you where jobs are actually being created right now. While Goldman says that jobless growth is the new norm, while Amazon cuts 15% of their HR, while tech actually shrinks, Boeing, they just got $2.7 billion. Stellantis, they are investing $13 billion. Apple is building a Houston facility. Defense and manufacturing are hiring like crazy. This is the contrarian view. I want you guys to stay with me, okay? Boeing, on Tuesday, October the 14th, yesterday, wouldn't you know, Boeing finally in the news for doing something good outside of their airplanes falling apart. But they announced that they won a contract worth $2.7 billion. What for? PAC-3 missile seekers. Patriot Advanced Capability is what PAC-3 stands for. These are sensor-guided missiles. That's basically what it is. Sensor-guided missiles. So they guide missiles to their targets. Boeing will produce these through 2030. 5 years of work guaranteed. They're ramping up production to 750 units per day. 750. That's a lot. Where is this happening? In Huntsville, Alabama. The beautiful state of Alabama. Huntsville, too. Huntsville, they've been crushing it, man. It's one of those cities that a lot of people are moving to, too. But Boeing already completed 35,000 a square foot factory. They expanded in Huntsville earlier this year. And they basically set new production records in 2025, early this year. Now they're ramping up even more. Now, what does this mean for jobs? Well, they need engineers. They need electrical engineers. They need mechanical engineers. They need system engineers. They need technicians. They need people who assemble the sensors. They need people who can test them. They need people who can calibrate them. They need supply chain workers, people who manage parts, people who coordinate shipments, people who track inventory. 750 units per year through 2030. That's steady work. Not a one-time contract. Defense spending is up because of the Ukraine war, because of the tensions in the Middle East that hopefully should be calming down now, because of China. Countries are buying weapons. Boeing makes weapons. Boeing is hiring. While Amazon is cutting 15% of their HR, Boeing is expanding their factories. That's the contrarian hiring. We also got Stellantis. Automotive. Because everyone thinks that car companies are dying, electric vehicles, tariffs, layoffs. Wrong. Stellantis announced on Tuesday, yesterday, a $13 billion investment in the U.S. for manufacturing. $13 billion over the next 4 years. 5,000 jobs, new jobs, not replacing old ones. These are new ones. Biggest place that this is going to be in, Belvedere, Illinois plant. They shut it down a while back. Now they're reopening it in 2027. Belvedere alone. 3,300 jobs, one plant. They're building new Jeep models there. Manufacturing is coming back. Why Stellantis is investing? Because of the tariffs, because of the government policy. It's cheaper to build cars in America now than ship them from Mexico or Canada. So Stellantis is building in America. That means more jobs in America. This is what your president said that he was going to do. Stellantis finally figured it out and said, you know what, we're not going to have those cars being made in India, in Mexico and in Canada. We're going to do them here in the United States. That means we're going to put people to work. So Stellantis basically said they're building here. It means more jobs. Not just assembly lines, engineers doing the designs, supply chain people managing parts, quality control inspectors, maintenance workers, supervisors, trainers, 5,000 jobs over 4 years in the Midwest. Basically, those states are the states that needs jobs, and he's bringing them back to the United States, or Stellantis is anyway. While tech companies announce layoffs, Stellantis announces $13 billion in investment. Let me show you Apple. Apple's doing something very similar. Because you think Apple doesn't manufacture in America. You're wrong. Apple is building 250,000 square foot facility in Houston, Texas, just east of me. And it's opening in 2026. What are they building? Well, they're building AI servers, not iPhones, servers. The computers that run AI models. Data centers need them. Going to be thousands of jobs coming to Houston. Manufacturing tech hardware, not just software and hardware. A whole bunch. Apple also announced $500 billion total investment in the U.S. over 4 years. That's 20,000 new employees nationwide, all sectors, manufacturing, engineer, retail, supply chain, support. 500 billion, 20,000 employees, they're saying. Tech manufacturing is coming back to America. Jensen Huang basically said NVIDIA might have 50,000 employees with 100 million AI assistants. That's still 50,000 humans. NVIDIA needs to hire them. They only have 30,000 today. AI companies aren't eliminating all jobs. They're eliminating low-skill repetitive jobs. They're creating a high-skilled manufacturing workforce and high-skilled manufacturing jobs. You have Kestra. I saw this one on yesterday as well. Kestra Holdings, wealth management company based in Austin, Texas. They just announced a secondary headquarters in Tempe, Arizona. 250 jobs over 18 to 24 months. Financial services growing, not tech, not consulting, financial advisors, client service, analysts, planners. 250 jobs in Tempe, Arizona in the next 2 years. So here's the pattern. The pattern is that tech companies like Amazon, Goldman, Google, Meta, they're cutting. They're using AI to reduce the workforce and to reduce headcount. Defensive companies, Boeing, Lockheed, Northrop, they're hiring, expanding and building. Automotive, Stellantis, 13 billion, 5,000 new jobs. Tech manufacturing, Apple, Houston, thousands of jobs, AI servers. Wealth management, Kestra, 250 jobs. Tempe. Jobs don't just disappear, they've shifted. White collar tech jobs in San Francisco are disappearing. Blue collar manufacturing jobs in Huntsville are appearing. White collar consulting jobs in New York are disappearing. Financial services jobs in Tempe is appearing. Your week 2, day 3 research, target 5 companies. Consider the 3 sectors: defense, automotive, tech manufacturing, wealth management. Don't just look at big tech. Big tech is cutting and will continue to cut. Look at where America is investing. Defense, manufacturing, infrastructure. That's where the jobs are. And Joseph figured that out. He researched 30 companies. He found one that fit and he got hired. You're researching 5 companies today. Find where the jobs actually are, not where they used to be. You guys just saw the contrary hiring. Boeing, 2.7 billion. Stellantis, 13 billion. Apple in Houston, Kestra, 250. Jobs do exist, just not in big tech anymore. Now I want to wrap up because we got deadlines. We talked about Oracle. 15 days left. AWS, 19 days. Joseph starts on 12. What's happening tomorrow? Week 2, day 4. This is what's happening. I want you guys to stay with me on this one. All right. We got some deadlines here, okay? Your action for today is to research 5 target companies. Not 500. I want you guys to do 5, okay? Ask 5 questions about each company. 1, do they offer hybrid or remote in your role? 2, are they actually hiring or posting ghost jobs? 3, do they use AI or get disrupted by it? 4, did they announce layoffs or hiring recently? 5, can you find someone who works there on LinkedIn? Sources for your 5 companies: Cloudflare, Shopify, Atlassian, Boeing, Lockheed, defensive contractors, healthcare AI startups, data center construction. Jensen's List. Pick 5, research them, write down your answers to your 5 questions. By the end of today, you have your target list. Now, let me remind you, because time is running out on free certifications. The Oracle race to certifications ends October the 31st. That's 15 days from today. That's 15 days, guys. This is the certification that we've been talking about. Oracle, multi-cloud, data. Get certified for free July 1st through October the 31st. You see it right here. Free training, free exam attempts, AI certifications, cloud certifications, database certifications. It's all there. Check it out. AWS, AI and machine learning. They have 50% off on their certifications. Check those out as well, too. AI practitioner, machine learning engineer, data engineer. 50% off, normally $300 per exam, now $150, 19 days, register now. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, October the 16th, week 2, day 4, your action. Make sure that you message 5 people. 1 person at each of your 5 target companies, someone in your field, someone doing the job that you want. And tomorrow's show, I'll give you guys the exact template that you can use, what to say, how to keep it short and respectful. Here's the thing. You can't message 5 people if you don't do the research. That's why today matters. Okay. Let me do a quick recap of today's show. You know, I read through one of the comments on one of the previous shows. They're like, can you just do a summary at the end? So let me see if this is going to work. I'm always up for trying new things. My man Ant Dog says, Antoine, you're building a plane while flying it too. You know, sometimes that happens, especially when you ain't feeling good. You know what I mean? Got to show up and show out. Let me summarize what we learned in the last 60 minutes. It's been 79 minutes, actually. While you guys slept, Goldman Sachs said jobless growth is normal now. Modest job growth alongside robust GDP growth is likely to be the new normal. So as the economy grows, jobs don't. AI replaces workers. That's permanent. Fed Chair Powell confirmed it on Tuesday. He said downside risks to employment appear to have risen. Amazon proved it. They are saying that there's going to be reports of Amazon cutting 15% of their HR. That's 10,000 people who hire you, potentially getting cut. Gen Z is bearing the brunt. 13% employment decrease. Entry-level jobs, 20 to 40% decrease. Day 15 of government shutdown. Senate failed for the 8th time yesterday. 4,750 workers fired this week so far. More coming Bank of America reported earnings. They beat expectations. Banks are making all kinds of record money, but not hiring, using AI to save costs. The military got paid. But if the shutdown continues, next paycheck is uncertain, which is October the 31st. Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO, he named 6 AI startups that are reshaping work. OpenAI, Harvey, OpenEvidence, Cursor, Replit, Lovable. We have 100% of NVIDIA engineers using Cursor. If they need AI to code, you need AI to work. Kathy Wood, ARK Investment CEO, says healthcare AI is the most profound application, most undervalued opportunity, convergence of AI, gene sequencing. That's the future. That's what we talked about today. And guys, if you need detailed help researching these companies, book a coaching session with me, www.nextgenheights.com, or check out our Patreon, www.patreon.com/Black Heights. Join the Patreon, book a coaching session. Okay. It's week 2, day 3. If this day helped you, make sure that you hit like on the video. If you're researching 5 companies a day, if you understand why Goldman's jobless growth warning matters, hit that like button, guys. Make sure if you are new to the channel and haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit the subscribe button to the Elevate to the Unknown YouTube channel. And not only that, the Daily Climb Show. We do this every weekday, 7 a.m. Central. Position yourself while everyone else is going to panic. You want to position yourself. This is about strategy. Tomorrow is going to be week 2 of day 4. How to message 5 people. Code LinkedIn templates, what to say, what to avoid. Don't miss it. And here's my challenge for you. In the next hour, before you do anything else, write down those 5 company names, 5 companies that you want to research today. Use the sources that I gave you. Write down 5 names. Simple. Then tonight, before you go to bed, all you got to do is answer the 5 questions for each company. Doesn't take a lot of time. Shit, I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, prepare for this show, get a workout in, make it happen. And I'm feeling sick. Make it happen, guys. But that's how you climb. That's how you research. That's how you message. That's how you connect. That's how you apply strategically. We get it done. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here, Ladder Climbers. One more time, if this show has helped you, if you are already taking action, guys, just hit the like button on the show. If you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We do this every weekday, 7 a.m. Central to 8 a.m. Central. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate each and every one of you. We will see you guys on tomorrow's show. Take care now. Go and crush your day.